Hello, everyone. I give you a warm welcome to another life story coming to you live from Life Stories Worldwide. We bring you stories from across the world, and these stories go out again across the world. They can be watched on StreamYard, on YouTube, on Facebook, and you can also watch them on our channel. You can watch them on our website directly from our website. We're going to bring you stories from of all types of people. People who've gone through all types of struggles in their lives. People who've faced many difficulties, but have come through and their lives have been transformed. And you're going to hear a story tonight like that. But I want also to tell you that if you want to contact us, you can go through our website, lifestoriesworldwide.com. There you'll find all the contact details. You can find a Bible app that you can download as well. And also, you could become a partner. You can find all details about becoming a partner of Life Stories Worldwide. Please share this with your friends. If you go to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to log on there and to click the share button and tell people these wonderful stories that are going every week. You can watch them over and over again on our YouTube channel, Life Stories Worldwide. So today we have a story coming to you from Huddersfield in the UK, but our speaker originally is from Eritrea. He was born in Asmara, Eritrea, and at the age of 4 months, he became an orphan when he lost 4 members of his family, including his mother. He had a perilous time getting over to the UK, but now he is doing an amazing work. He is speaking to leaders in different places, such as the Houses of Parliament and the European Parliament. He wants to encourage leaders to be empowered. He's also a songwriter and a singer. And so it gives me a great pleasure tonight to introduce Daniel Habtey, who's going to share his story. Welcome, Daniel, to Life Stories.
Thank you, Alan, for having me. I really appreciate for inviting me to this wonderful audience. Yeah, I'm here in Huddersfield, based Yorkshire. It's a lovely countryside, and I'm enjoying every minute. So, yeah, thank you for having me, Alan. As you mentioned, my story is really amazing. I'm not interesting at all. I mean, an interesting person, basically, but my story is really amazing. And the reason being is, out of, all the bad stuff, there is something good comes out of it. Because my story begins with a very tragic moment. Uh, as you mentioned, I'm from Eritrea, and my mom was died when I was 4 months old. And at that time, we didn't have supplementary food or milk or whatever the need and so and so forth. So my father struggled really. In fact, he was so concerned that he's going to lose me as well. But what he did is, he took me to his mother, and his mother, which is my grandma. She was a grown-up, elderly mother. She couldn't have, breastfed at that time, but they gave her, a traditional medicine, and she was able to breastfeed me. And miraculously, I survived it. But soon after, in my elder brother died because an astray bullet came into his body, and instantly he died. And then my grandmother was so sad, and she died due to sadness and illness as well. Then my father was a military fighter. At that time, Eritrea was under the colony of Ethiopia, so there was a continuous war. So he was a freedom fighter, and he died, when I was about, 3 or 4 years old. So I don't remember exactly. So at the age of 4, I lost 4 members of my family, and then I went to the orphanage. And the orphanage is a wonderful place. However, the director was not really a good person. So, he was really emotionally and physically abused. But I was poor as well. And emotionally, I was in terrible condition because I lost my family. And I used to always get angry over little things. And there was a time I was, getting jealous, for small things, even for a pair of shoes or trousers, whatever. So I was a very traumatized child at that time. There was a time that I was dreaming a very scary dream. Sometimes, I was chased by a dragon or, mad person. And this is all because I lost, all my members of family. So nobody was around me. I don't hear the word "I love you" and "you are such, precious person," whatever. I never heard at all. And say my psychological emotions and everything was, brutally bruised. And I remember at times I was thinking of, contemplating suicide. And there was a time I said that, if I would have a gun, I would, kill people because my mental state was not really good condition. So I was bruised, I was poor, I was angry and jealous person. But until I was 14 years old, when I remember my childhood was not really a good situation. Uh, but after when I was 14, 15 years old.
Life Stories Worldwide is on YouTube, and it's very easy to subscribe to our channel. Just click the bell and subscribe, and receive notifications of when we are live, or simply watch any of our other videos. So check it out and give us a visit.
There was a great man who is a high school teacher. His name is Master Shah. It might be difficult for you. And he is a very kind person. And he came to me. He was encouraging me, and he was, hugging me, and he prayed over me. And because I was looking for someone like, a father figure, who could love me and encourage me. And there was a time he used to buy me a Coca-Cola, and just to be around him was, a unique atmosphere. I remember that, uh, I was really cherished by his surrounding. And I was hoping as well, I can be a good person because the value he showed me was, just treating being a human person was absolutely wonderful. And this man, he was about to depart to a different country. And by the end of he was about to go, he invited me and he prayed over me. And that prayer, even though I don't understand what it means, but it makes me so, hopeful and, looking forward, there is something better for me. And after a couple of years, I just, become the most peaceful and happy and confident person because I received Jesus Christ as my personal Savior and Lord. And from what happened, my past, you know, I lost all my members of my family. As I told you, I was so angry and jealous, and I was in a very dark situation, mentally, spiritually, and in all kinds of things. But when he prayed over me, and when I accepted as my personal, Jesus Christ, when I invite him, the first word I heard from the Bible was, draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. And that verse was encouraging me very high, very, very much so. And I remember I forgot my misery, my trouble situations, and I was looking forward, and I was very hopeful person, and optimistic, and full of peace and joy. Uh, my life was changed forever. But not only that, after a couple of years, I became hopeful, and I was trained as a health assistant. So I was training, and I graduated there, and I was working in hospital. So basically, from nothing to something that I'm proud of, my profession, and earn my money, and rent my own house, and that was a quite transformational lifestyle, basically. But the Eritrean government was not so good politically. There was some religious and political persecution there. So I was forced to leave my country. I was not allowed to do the job that I love because I was, aspiring to be a pastor, as good people have done for me. I was to do something good for others as well, but I was not allowed, so I have to flee my country. So I crossed the border with great danger because at that time the government legislation was, when you are caught by the government, when you are crossing the border, the order was shoot to kill. So, and it reminded me my father was died, and my older brother was died because of the war. So I was counting my time as well. Is that me? It is me again. And I was really scared, and I was really cautious. But thankfully, after 3 days, we crossed in Sudan. So I managed, to escape from the border. So after Sudan, I had to travel to Libya through the through the Sahara Desert. And as you might heard, a lot of people, crossing the Sahara, it is dangerous. It's very hot, and sometimes, a cars was broken down, so you have to walk off foot, and a lot of things, basically. And so it took us for 15 days in the Sahara Desert with great struggles. And I lost, we were about 34 people, so we were almost run out of water and food and other stuffs as well. But thankfully, we arrived in Libya. Soon after we arrived in Libya, the Libyan government, they took us and they put us in prison. At that time was in the time of Muammar Gaddafi, and we were put into prison. And I remember a lot of people were there, for a few months, probably 5, 6 months. So when we saw them, we were so disappointed as well. We were so unhappy, and we thought that our life is going to end up in a jail. My child and my wife was with me at that time, and my child was 4 months old. But the prison guard, after he saw my child, he told us, you're free to go. And we went to the Tripoli. Then from Tripoli, we have to sail and cross the Mediterranean Sea. And in the Mediterranean Sea, we encountered uh, strong waves, and it was in December time. And if you remember December, if you can understand that how the weather is horrible and difficult. Uh, uh, but we struggled a lot, so it took us more than 48 hours, and we were in a great danger and crisis. And I remember as we crossed the sea, the captain told us, I lost my direction. The compass is not working anymore, and we are run out of fuel. I don't know what to do.
Life Stories Worldwide is broadcast live every Monday night at 8 p.m. UK time. We broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, and StreamYard. Why not join us every Monday night at 8 p.m. UK time for Life Stories Worldwide.
At this time, when the captain was announced, everybody was, in shocked, basically, and they scared to death. And in fact, some of them, they even lost, their mind, basically. Um, but as we continue to sail, we try to find help, and we encountered with one of the big ship in the sea. So we try to ask them help, and they couldn't help us basically. So the captain decided, I'm going to approach them. So when he was approached to the big ship, he bumped with the big ship, and on the right side, some wood was broken. So water was coming on from the sea into the boat, and we have to take out the water from the boat into the sea. So it was crisis over crisis, and while this is happening, there was a pregnant woman there, and she was about to give a birth as well. And she was crying, she was agonizing for pain to give a labor. And I was the one who was helping her because I had some experience working as a health assistant. So we delivered the baby, and a healthy baby boy. But I told them to all the people, hey, we're here and the baby is delivered safely. So God gave us a new baby boy. So come and rejoice. But they couldn't see that, what's happening. In fact, some of them, they said, what is going on? We are about to die, and now there is a new baby is going to, born again. So they were confused and perplexed and catatonic by the fear of death, basically paralyzed. Uh, but after a couple of hours, we arrived in the Libya desert. So here, when I was about to deliver the baby, my mind was confused, but my heart was, full of peace. And I think it reminded me the word of God. It says, the peace of the Lord that is, beyond our mind, more than things that we can think. Our heart was guarded by the peace of God. So thankfully, the Lord was with me, the Lord was with us, and He saved us, and we arrived in Europe. So here I'm in the UK. It took me 5 years to arrive, basically. Even though I lost my family, even though I traveled, the Sahara Desert, even though I crossed, the Mediterranean Sea, even though life was, up and down, I have been through all the roller coaster of, all kinds of emotions. But I am settled, I'm grounded, and I am the most happiest and confident person. I found life was meaningful for me. Uh, A is, everything that happened in the past, I am free from, the fear and anger and jealousy and all kinds of things. I am the most happiest and, confident person, feel like. And in the Mediterranean Sea, my heart was kept and guarded by the peace of the Lord. And now the Lord is using me to tell the story. Even now, I wouldn't be the person who I am now without, all my experience, and I wouldn't share with you what happened, in my story. So I was able to share my story, to tell there is a God, to tell there is a hope, and my story is a story of hope and transformation. And through all these storms, through all these, turmoil things in my life, I have seen, hope and transformation in my life. And I'm now, a father of three, and not only my own children, but I oversee a lot of people. My ministry grown up, and as Alan, introduced me, have been interviewed on BBC for more than 13 years, sorry, 13 times rather, and twice in the parliament, and then once in the European Parliament as well. I went to different, countries and governments, to speak my story. Basically, there is hope and there is a transformation. Even though we are passing through difficult circumstances, you can be a better person, and you can make the world in a better position, just simply by receiving the hope of God and by being a share of the hope of God to others as well. So here in the UK, I'm, a songwriter. I've got 3 albums, and at the same time, I teach leadership, for our community, we to make it how better the world. And I tell my story as well, to give hope to the other people, because we are living in a very darkest hour, darkest situations, and people are traveling through, going through difficult things like wilderness. It doesn't have to be in the Sahara Desert. There is a financial wilderness, there is a spiritual wilderness, there is a breakdown wilderness, relationship, and all kinds of things. But what I have learned from my story, there is hope, and there is transformation can happen. No matter what the circumstance, no matter our chances, what happened in the past, without a vengeance, without grievances, without bitterness, without holding grudges, you can be free from all fears, free from bitterness.
If you would like to speak to us here at Life Stories Worldwide Radio, you can simply by dialing +44 7943 550287. Call us now